Hey guys, welcome to another Theory of Computation tutorial. Today we'll be solving NFA to DFA conversion and we'll look at some examples. So let's get started. First thing, what are we going to learn? We'll look at three examples today. That first we'll construct an NFA and then we'll convert NFA to DFA. Alright, so let's get started. First example, construct an NFA for accepting all strings ending with 0, 1 over the alphabet 0, 1 and then convert it from NFA to DFA. Alright. So we have to accept all the strings ending with 0. Fine. It's very easy actually to construct an NFA for this. So let's say this is a starting state. We'll call it A. Okay. If you get a 0, you go to B. Okay. And if you get a 1, you go to state C. Okay. And let's make state C our final state. So anything before this you get, let it be 0 or let it be 1. It's okay. So this is our NFA for accepting all the strings ending with 0, 1. Okay, so let's write the delta table over here. Sorry, del table, that is transition table over here. So yeah. Okay, so these are our three columns. Okay, so let's say this is input is 0 and 1, and we have got three states over here, A, B and C. Okay, so if you are in state A and you get an input 0, where you can go? You can either stay in A or you can go to B. So let's write it at A comma B. What about 1? If you get a 1, you can be in state A. What about state B? If you get an input 0, where you go? It's not mentioned, so let's write it as null or empty state. And if you get a 1, you go to state C. Okay, so in NFA you have to write it as a set of states. Okay, you don't write it just as a single state, you write it as set of state. And what about C? Nothing is mentioned, right? Even if you get a 0 or 1. So let's write it as null set, that is empty set. Okay, so now this is the transition table del for NFA. So this is our NFA. Now we have to convert this NFA into DFA. Okay, it's very easy. Let's say what we'll do is we'll take this transition table and we'll convert this transition table into DFA transition table. Okay, so DFA transition table. Alright, so let's construct a table over here first. Alright, okay, and we have got three columns over here and three rows, or we'll see how many rows. Okay, so input is either 0 or 1, and we'll also create another row here. Okay, now if you are in state A over here, you can either go to A or B. So what we have to do is we have to combine these two into one and call it a state AB. Okay, so if you get a 0 when you are in state A, input 0 you get, you go to state AB, you have to combine them. Okay, so these are the operations that we had learned about. What we are doing is we are doing concatenation over here. Okay, A comma B become AB. Okay, and what about 1? If you get a 1, you are still in state A. Okay, now out of these three states over here, A, AB and A, we have already completed what happens for A if you get 0 and 1, correct? But we have not mentioned about AB, so you cannot go to any other state from here, just to AB. So we'll write it for AB now. So we are in state AB. Okay, what happens in state AB? So we have to do union operation over here. Okay, so in union operation what we do is, if you are in state A and B, so you are in state AB, okay, and you get a 0, you will do union operation of these three things, A, B and null. So if you get A, B and null, you do union operation, you go to state AB, that is A comma B will be AB. So if you get a 0, you stay in AB. Okay, and if you get an input of 1 when you are in state AB, you again do the union operation and then do the concatenation operation. So you get AC over here. Okay, so you go to state AC. Now we have taken care of AB now. That is, if you get 0 and 1 for AB, we have written the output for that, and that is transitions for that. But what about AC? So from AB you can go to AC. Let's create another new state called AC over here. Okay, and what happens in AC? Again, you do union and concatenation operations over here. So if you get an input of 0 when you are in state AC, you go to AB and null. That is state AB you go to. After doing concatenation, you go to state AB. And what about input 1? If you're in state AC and you get an input 1, you go to concatenation of A and null. That is, again, you get it as A. So you write it as state A over here. Okay. So from here, which are the states that are remaining that we have not covered? We have covered AC now, correct? We have covered AB also, and you have covered A. So there is no need to write anything for state C. Okay. So these are the 3 states that you have to draw a DFA. Let's draw a DFA from this transition table. So let's say first we have got our state A. Okay. Let's call it state A. That is our initial or starting state. And you get an input of 0. You go to state AB. So let's write it as state AB. State AB. Okay. And you get an input of 1. You are still in state A. Input of 1, you are in still state A. Now what about AB? You get an input of 0. You are in state AB itself. Okay. And you get an input of 1. You go to state AC. Okay. So input of 1, you go to state AC. Okay. Now what about AC? You get an input of 0, you go to state AB. Input of 0, you go to state AB, and you get an input of 1, you go to state A. And let's make this state AC our final state. Okay. So this is the DFA. That is, this is how we convert an NFA to a DFA. Okay. So let's try to pass a string 101. Okay. Just a second. Let's change the class. String 101. Okay. Now in NFA, we'll see whether it will be accepted or not. So if you get a 1 over here in state A, you are still in state A. You get a 0, you go to state B, or you stay in state A. Okay. And then you get a 1, you'll be either staying in state A or you'll be reaching state C. And is state C a final state? Yes. So this string is accepted. Now what about DFA? You get, so let's try it for 101. You are in state A, you get a 1, you are still in state A, you get a 0, you go to state B. Okay. You get a 1, you go to state AC. Okay. Now is state AC a final state? Yes. So this string is also accepted. So this is how we convert NFA to DFA. Okay. So I hope you got this example. Now let's solve the next example. So let's say we have to construct a NFA for accepting all strings starting with 1 over the alphabet 0, 1 and convert it from NFA to DFA. It's again very easy. Okay. So let's say all the strings starting with 1. Okay. So let's say this is our starting state A. Okay. You get an input of 1. You go to state B. And that's it. We don't care afterwards what happens because we just want starting with A. So you either get 0 or you get 1. We don't care. Okay. So this is the NFA for it now. Now let's draw the transition table over here. So again, this is the transition table. And yeah. Just a second. 1, 2. Okay. And yeah, let's draw the columns over here. Okay. So we have got 2 inputs over here, that is 0 and 1. Okay. This is the transition table for NFA. You are in state A. You get any input of 0. What happens? Nothing is mentioned. So let's write it as empty set, that is null set. And then you get an input of 1. You go to state B. So let's write it as a set of B. Okay. Now what about B? Is anything mentioned over here? No. Now, yeah, if you get a 0 or 1, you still stay in state B. So let's write it as state B and state B. Okay, done. So this is the NFA. Now let's convert this NFA into DFA. It's again very simple. Just take the transition table of NFA and convert it into DFA. Okay, let's change the color to blue. So DFA. Now, what was the transition table? 0, 1 and AB. These are the only 2 states that we have over here. 0, 1 and starting state A. Okay. So in state A, you get 0, it is null. Okay. So there are no null sets over here. Okay. That is, you call it a trap state. So let's create a new state for null and we'll call it state T. Okay. Trap state. Okay. And you get 1, you go to state B. Fine. Now over here, you can either go to T or you can go to B. We already taken care of A. That is, if you get 0 or 1, which transition you make, we already written. Now let's go to state B. If you are in state B, you go to state B, either you get 1 or 0. Okay. And we are left with trap state. So let's create another table over here or another row over here and we'll call it yeah. Okay. And we'll call it trap state T. So in trap state, what happens? You get any input 0 or 1. You are still in that trap state itself. So what we'll do is we'll write it as state T and T. Okay. Now we'll convert. We have already converted this NFA to DFA transition table. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll construct a DFA. So let's say we are in starting state A. You get 1. You go to state B. Okay. And the B is the final state. You get 0 or 1 in state B. You are still in state B itself. But if you get a 0, you go to state T. You get a 0, you go to state T. And in state T, no matter what you get, 0, 1, you are still in the trap state. Okay. So this is the second example of converting an NFA to DFA. Alright. Now what we'll do is we'll look at a third example. We have to construct an NFA for accepting all strings containing 1, 1. Okay. So we have to accept all the strings containing 1, 1 over the alphabet 0, 1 and convert it from NFA to DFA. Alright. So let's draw the NFA over here first. So let's say this is our starting state A. You get anything over here, let it be 0 or let it be 1. We are okay with it. And you get a 1, you go to state B. You get another 1, you go to state C. And again you get anything over here, we are okay with it, 0, 1. And this is the final state. Okay. So this is the NFA. Let's write the transition table for this. So let's say we have got our table. Okay. A, B, C and 0 and 1. Okay. So 3 columns. 0 and 1. You get you are in state A. Okay. You get a 0, you go to state A itself. And you get 1, you can either go to state A or state B. So A, B. Now you are in state B. What happens then? By the way, we have taken care of state. Wait, yeah. Now what about state B? If you are in state B, you get a 0. What is mentioned? Nothing is mentioned. So you go to empty set. Okay. And what about 1? You get a 1. You go to state C. Alright. Now what about state C? You get 0 or 1. It doesn't matter. Okay. You will be still in state C itself. Okay. So this is the transition table for NFA. Now let's do the transition table for DFA. This was the transition table for NFA. Now we'll do the transition table for DFA. Let's convert it. Okay. So let's say this is the table. Okay. And we've got 3 columns over. 0 and 1 are the inputs, and you are in state A. You get 0, you go to state A. Okay, so let's write it as. What about 1? You get 1, you go to A, B. So let's combine this and we'll concatenate it and make it AB, a new state called AB. Now for the state AB, what we do is we'll do union operation first and then do the concatenation operation. So in state AB, if you get a 0, you do concatenation operation of A and null set and you get state A. So you go to state A and you get 1, you do the concatenation of A, B and C and you create a new state called ABC. Okay. Now we have taken care of A, we have taken care of AB. Now we'll look at state ABC. So A, B and C. That is ABC is a new state now that we have created. And in state ABC, you get a 0. What you do is you do concatenation operation of A, null set and state C. And you get a new state called AC. Okay. So let's write it as AC. And if you get an input of 1, you do the concatenation operation of A, B, C and C. So again, C and C are the same thing. So you first do union operation, that is A, B, C will get, and then you'll do concatenation operation of it. So you'll get A, B, C. Okay, A, B, C. Now, which state is remaining? State AC is remaining, for which we have not written anything. Okay, so let's create for state AC now. Okay, so state AC. Now, if you get a 0 in state AC, A and C, you do the union operation first and then the concatenation operation. So A, C, you do the concatenation, you get AC. So you write AC. And you do concatenation of ABC, you get ABC. Okay, so this is the transition table for DFA that you have already converted. Alright, so let's draw the DFA for this. So let's say you are in state A. Starting state is A. Okay, and you get as input 0, you are in still state A. You get an input of 1, you go to state AB. AB. Now in state AB, you get an input of 0, you go to state A. Alright, and you get input of 1, you go to state ABC. Okay, A, B, C. In state ABC, you get input 0, you go to state AC. AC. Okay, and you get input of 1. What happens then? You are still in state. Now you are still in state ABC. Okay, now in state AC, you get an input of 0. You are still in state AC, but you get an input of 1, you go to state ABC. Alright, so this is the DFA that we have drawn. Now let's try to pass a string over here. So let's pass a string like, let's change the color, yeah, 1, 1, 1. Let's try to pass the string. So you are in state A, you get a 1, you can either stay in A or you can go to B. Okay, so let's suppose you go to B, you get another one, you go to state C. Okay, and you get another one, you are still in state C. Are you in a final state? Yes. So this string is accepted in this NFA. What about this DFA? 1, 1, 1. Okay, so let's say you are in state A, starting state A, you get a 1, you go to state AB, you get another one, you go to state ABC, and you get another 1. What you do is you are in state ABC. So anywhere there is C, we'll mark it as a final state. Okay, so let's just change this color. Yeah, so we'll mark it as a final state. ABC is a final state and so is AC. Okay, so there can be multiple final states. That's why we call it a set of final states. There can be more than one final states. So are you in a final state? Yes. So this string is also accepted. What about a string like 0, 1, 1, 0? Let's try this string. Okay, so you are in state A. Okay, you get a 1. Sorry, you get a 0. You are in still state A. You get a 1. You go to state AB. You get another 1. You go to state ABC. You get a 0. You go to state AC. Are you in a final state? Yes. So this string is also accepted. Okay, so this was the third example of converting an NFA to DFA. Okay, so if you have any queries, feel free to ask me in the comment section below. Thank you. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any queries, feel free to ask them in the comment section below. If you have any suggestions, please write them in the comment section below. If you like the video, please share it with your friends and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.